Hey everyone, my name is Gavin, and this will be a video on how to use a Navmesh to update its object's tracking, an object's tracking when the object is near another object. So if an object is tracking towards one object, but then another object of the same property gets closer, it'll switch the object it's tracking to on the Navmesh to go after that object. Alright, I'm just going to get started. So to start off, let's double click the A button and select everything to hit X and then delete. Let's then do spacebar and then add a plane like this, and hit S and 10 to scale this plane out. Let's go into edit mode right here, select face select mode, and do W, and subdivide this plane a bunch of times. Hit 7 to go on the top view, and hit the A key, and then what we're going to do, actually I'll go back into object mode really quick by hitting tab. What we're going to do is click on the materials tab and hit new, and let's select this property as blue right here, hit the tab key, sorry, one more time, let's hit this plus sign right here, hit new, and let's make this new material green. I forgot to say that, sorry. Let's hit the B key as in boy, so B as in boy, and drag over small sections of the map. And we're going to be creating a map that we're going to use for our Navmesh. Alright, I might actually do this section in the middle as well, right here. And I'm going to hit this assign material right here. And I'm going to hit E to extrude, so we can now extrude our map so it'll look like this. Okay, now that we have this, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go from defaults to game logic, Blender, render, Blender, game. And let's create a Navmesh. So let's hit this symbol right here, and where it says Navmesh right here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to set the merged region size, so let's say 10, the max edge length to let's say 6, and right click on your plane, and I'm going to hit build Navmesh. So we've now got a Navmesh built around our plane right here. Okay, now that we have this, what I'm going to do is I'm going to do spacebar and then add a cube. And this cube that we add is going to be our main object, or the object that's going to be doing the tracking. Main object, click on this right here, this materials tab, hit new, and let's change the color of this object to, let's say, red. Let's give this object character physics like this, or character physics like this. Okay, now that we have this, we can see this cube is going to drop onto the floor like so. Alright. What we want to do is on our main objects, we're going to add 3 different sensors. The first is going to be an always. The next is going to be a near sensor. Near, and let's set the property to be looking for enemy. The distance will be 7, and the reset distance will be 7 as well. Alright, the last we're going to add is a collision sensor. Collision all lowercase. I'll click tap right here, and it's going to be looking for the property enemy. And I'm going to minimize this, and I'm going to add a controller property like so. Not an expression, but a controller. And let's connect these to our 3 sensors. Now that we have this, we're just going to have one actuator. And this one actuator that we're going to have is going to be a steering actuator. The behavior will be path following. And we're going to use the Navmesh right here. We want to visualize or have a red line indicate what we're looking for. Hit this N right here, and for the axis we're going to be tracking on, let's have it be on the positive y-axis. Okay, now that we have this, I'm going to rename this actuator as path follow like so, and I'm going to minimize this, and I'm going to connect it to our controller like so. Alright, now that we have this, I'm going to do templates Python and game logic simple to create a new function. And let's delete the portion I've highlighted right here and hit Control and scroll up to make your text larger. And rename this as scripts.py, and let's add this right here. Okay, now that we have this, let's define our near sensor. So near is going to be equal controller.sensors near. We're then going to have collision is going to be equal controller.sensors collision. Then we're going to have path follow is going to be equal controller.actuators path follow. Okay, now that we have this, what I'm going to do is first what I'm going to do is have if near.positive. What we're going to do is define targets. Target object is going to equal near.hit object. And then what we're going to do is say path follow.targets is going to equal target object. So the object that we're near currently at the moment is going to be the object that we're going to be tracking to. And then we're going to activate, so do const.activates path follow. So we're going to use that Navmesh to track to that one object. Let's have an else statement right here. We're going to have else, And then if the near sensor is not positive, we're just going to deactivate that path follow actuator. So if we were to hit P, we'd see it wouldn't do anything right now because it's not active. If I were to go into our console, we'd see there's no errors. And I would do spacebar, and now I'm going to add a cube. And this cube we're going to add is going to have everything that our player is looking for. It's going to be an enemy, and I'll just give it a random color too as well. So let's change this in this new object that we've added. Let's give it character physics. Let's make it an enemy. Enemy like so. And we should see that we're going to track to it like this. Okay? I'm going to right click on our player really quick, our main object, and I'm going to change the velocity to 8 because that right now is pretty slow. And what I'm going to do is right now, I'm going to right click on this enemy right here, the one that we've just created. I'm going to click on the materials tab, I'm going to hit new, and let's give this a yellow material like this. And inside of our scripts, one thing we're going to do is have if a collision occurs. So if collision dot positive, so if we have collided with an enemy object, and if collision dot hit object is equal to target object. So if the object that we've collided with is not just an in general object, but it's actually the object that we're targeting, what we're going to do is do target object dot end object. So what we should see right now is if we hit P, it'll delete one upon collision. But if we right click on this cube or enemy object and hit Control and D a few times and just place a few more cubes around the map, we should see that this cube, our player object, is going to track around the map colliding with these objects. There's actually an error really quick. I'll actually take this line out right here. So if collision.positive, do targets object.end object. Actually, one thing that might be going wrong right there, let me click on our player, is do we have tap selected? We do have tap selected. Okay, so never mind, I'm going to put this back. So let's have if collision.hit object is equal to target object. We're just going to do targets object.end object. Yeah, the tap doesn't update sometimes if it's always been near. So if we hit P now, we can see it's just going to delete all these objects. And we can see how large our near sensor is if we show physics visualization right here. So we can see all these objects inside of here are being tracked to. Alright, so this is how you update an object's nav mesh to track to random objects in the game. And alright everyone, thanks for watching and have a good day. I'll show you the script for one more second. Alright, so here's the scripts. And thanks for watching everyone.